Lovely. Great stop. He has the opportunity as the leading spinner. Zahid Khan is not playing this game. But look at it, he's not afraid to toss the ball up, inviting the batter to calm down. It's a very teasing flight that he gathers on the surface above. I reckon that I would love to see that slip for Nuno Fernando. I don't know whether you agree with me or not, but Nuno Fernando is struggling out there, mid over. See, also the off stump, he's not trying to do anything. But slip will bring more pressure.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rajiv. Bringing the slip that opens up a gap which he will try to manufacture a shot and wrong one. There was a good kick from Khalil Gurbaz. He's bowling brilliant, Rajiv.
I think he's not reading him. Because a batter who is struggling and who is not in form, see, almost chopping it off to the stumps. See, his lines and legs are perfect. Maybe to open up the leg side field, the mid wicket, bring the slip in, show him a gap where the batter will have a doubt. So these are the things that you can do out there as a spinner. Be a little tactical. Quicker one. Very good over. Very good over. Drastic passage here going on for Sri Lanka. 22 done, 154 for 1. Was dominating. He's not timing enough. That shows that he's not in form. He's trying to get into the form, but if a batter, Santosh, as a batter, you have batted in the top order. If you time it on the middle, full face of the bat, it gives you and it builds you confidence, isn't it?
Absolutely. Right now, every dot ball is building a lot of pressure on him. It's frustrating him, to be honest, and he's trying to force the shot through. He's not trying to time it. He's not trying to work the fingers. He's trying to force a boundary from somewhere. That's what's happening with him. I'm pretty sure he's under a lot of pressure coming into this game with a fail in the first game as well. So.
Avishka Fernando, I think he's having a dream run. Another batter who's in form, getting those starts, converting it to those big scores. 100 now, and this is another opportunity. Don't want to jinx it, but this is another opportunity for him. Just on the verge of getting into the finals. And what is the significant point is Avishka Fernando is making it that healthy strike rate. Now, when Nuno Fernando walked in, it was 7.5 runs per over. Now it has dropped down to 6.8.
He's faced 22 deliveries, Rajiv. He's only managed 9 runs. He's not been able to rotate strike as well. Ownership of 23 of 37 balls. There he goes for it. This time he gets enough bat on it. Is that a 6? It's a 4 signal by the umpire. And no need to need that, Rajiv.
I reckon that's a pressure shot because he was. Timing, lot of dot balls in his innings, and going with that flow. He identified that the mid-off fielder was up in the ring, so he needed some mid. Lucky for him, he got the full face to work it through nicely. Some relief for Nuno Fernando to get out of jail, and that's his first boundary. Inside edge. This is not the first time Nuno Fernando. Oh, 23 done, 160 for 1. Works it through to the gap, trying to go for the second run, but happy with the single. Moves to the 70s. So enough time. I reckon enough of time for Nuno to come out of jail, right? Like we mentioned, that because yes, he's not in form, not connecting, not timing, and this is where patience will come into play.
Definitely. Also, I think this is not the Nuno Fernando we've seen over the years, Rajiv. He's usually a free-flowing batsman. He bats at a runner ball, scores runs very quickly as well. But Nuno Fernando of late has been pretty defensive and under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, on a point of the goalie captain, I would make sure Nuno gets more strike of the leg spinner, Khalid Gurba, because he struggles a lot to time and then making sure maybe to bring another fielder up in the ring. Make sure Nuno does a false or a mistake, false stroke, open up a gap. Because from the looks of it, if you give him that grip, he might grab. As a batter who's not among the run, see, it's not a very good over from Khalid. He's been wavered all over, bowling short. So this gives the opportunity to the batter to come out of jail, like we always say, and then maybe this might be a time for Nuno to come out and play that inning, that most important inning, for him to come back into form.
Yeah, he's capable of doing that. He's done that before as well. He's done that time and time again. After a long string of failures, he'll come back and score a massive knock, a big 100. So he's done it before, and he's got a lot of time to do it today. So that's the end of the 24th over. Sri Lanka 165 for 1.
I think misjudging the leg there. Avishka Fernando. Another flight of delivery is getting some drift. But this is the opportunity for Nuno Fernando. I know he loves the off spinners.
I was just about to speak about that, Rajiv.
I know I have bowled against him, yes. I've gone to the cleaners.
There we see it. Yes, he fancies facing the off spinners, Rajiv. I was just about to mention it, and you said it, so it's a bit of a smile on his face as well. So he knows that this is his opportunity to capitalize. Work the singles, get that out boundary, get yourself in. That's down the leg. He's got a bit of bat on it, but just a single.
They're not the ideal delivery. Off spinner straight down the leg side. Because there's only one fielder behind you to save it, but apart from the boundary riders. See, the surface has been better and better for batting. It's quite easy if you're a batter. Just trying to work through structuring nicely. Avishka Fernando has been a perfect example. Getting the opportunity when he's got that start. So even that poor delivery outside the off stump. No, they couldn't punch on it. 3 runs on it, off it, halfway through Sri Lanka 168 for 1. Faruddin has picked up a wicket or played upishly. Oh, gets a boundary, making sure that was placed nicely. Avishka Fernando is on a very good run, especially against Afghanistan. Scored 100 in the previous game. This is another beautiful shot.
Yeah, he knew exactly where the long off fielder was. It was a bit of a wideish long off fielder. And he just went straight. Once again, driven down the ground. That's time to perfection, but the long off fielder will get around it. He'll get a couple of runs. Avishka Fernando, he moves up into the 80s, Rajiv.
Yeah, he moves to the 80s and a very good start for the over. 6 runs off the first 2 deliveries. A batter who's hungry for runs. This is way. A similar way he got to that 100 in the previous outing against Afghanistan. Top edge, but fall safe.
Seven runs off this over. Partnership 42 of 54. Fernando doing the bulk of the scoring in this partnership, but Nuno Fernando slowly but steadily getting himself in. 16 of 29. Gives himself a chance. He's got plenty of balls remaining. We have the track.
Maximum volume.
Yeah, that's the pressure shot. Now, it's been a shutdown, a quiet moment for Nuno Fernando because the run flow. For him, he has to struggle a lot. See, that's a pressure shot.
Yeah, dot ball's building a lot of pressure for Nuno Fernando. That was a quicker one. That just went on quickly. 7 runs off that over. Sri Lanka 175 for 1.
Fernando. So far Sri Lanka doing a very good job. More slower you bowl on this surface, the spinners are getting some turn. But I have a doubt, I have a question. The length matters a lot.
Absolutely, you need to be a lot more fuller on a wicket like this. The slow nature of the surface helps when you bowl it slower. Yeah, much better. That's the length, Rajiv. That's the length I was talking about. You bowl it slow, you get the purchase off the surface, but if you bowl it shorter of a length, then the batsman's going to be going on the back foot and
yeah, enough time. Was that back or leg buys? We'll wait and see. Yes, leg buys given. So Imran Mir is not afraid to toss the ball up, but I have the feeling that the more he bowls those blighted deliveries, I like to see him bringing the batter into the front foot. Slower through the air. See, well, Nuwadu trying all sorts of things, but still he's not getting that connection.
Yeah, clearly a man out of form. That runs signals the umpire, so one of the front has got a little tickle on it. There you go. There you see. Yeah, he got an edge, bottom edge on it as well. Fortunately, it didn't.
See, a batter who's in form just works it through nicely. 27 done, 180 for 1. Only lost a wicket. Avishka is into the 80s, he's on 83. Now, Avishka Fernando to me is looking confident, he's got things under control, but Navinendra Fernando, we saw him struggle a little, as we say. Good afternoon to Roshan.
Afternoon, Kosala. Yeah, Avishka and Nuwadu have looked contrasting, isn't it? Nuwadu hasn't really found his form. Now, that is a shot that he's played with a fair bit of confidence and something that we haven't seen so far in his innings. Yes, there was one shot that went over long on for 4, but by and large it's been a struggle.
And I also feel that Imran Mir, the Afghanistan captain, is missed out a little bit. The previous over was bowled by the right arm leg spinner. He's taken him off because we saw Navinendra Fernando struggle against him. He was not picking him up, but he changes him and brings his off spinner in. So this also will give more confidence to Navinendra Fernando, because he will always like the ball turning into him and playing the off spinner.
Also, he was not picking the ball, picking the leg spinner at all. That was the problem. Now, he's still struggling. I mean, I think he should look to cut out shots like that and just play normally until he feels comfortable. I know he's looking to open that short third area, but he doesn't seem to be in total control.
I think what he really needs to do here, it's the end of the over, it's 183 for 1, 63 for 1.
Interesting to look at is the individual contributions. Nuanindu has contributed less, consumed more deliveries. And Avishka has gone the opposite in the opposite direction, which indicates to you where the two batters are in their form at the moment.
Yeah, quite right, 184 for 1. Sri Lanka got plenty of overs in hand. That's better. That's what he should be trying to do, trying to play in front of the wicket rather than trying to play square on the wicket. Yeah. Till he gets himself settled in, try to pick the bowlers off their hand. I did mention that both of these lads come from Mortua. They played in the same school. Oh, that's a poor delivery. Fernando will be disappointed. No, he's put it in the correct place. For a moment I thought he found the fielder, but then you can't afford to give Avishka Fernando this type of deliveries, Roshan.
No, and the other thing is that Avishka has pounced on loose deliveries. He's not let the loose delivery go unpunished. Now he was very quick to pick that line. The length wasn't bad, it's just the line. And very clever batting. Boundary followed by a single, so they made what, 8 runs in the over and 1 ball to go. So Sri Lanka, very, very comfortable.
Yeah. Into the 190s now, 190 for 1. Avishka is in the 90s, he's 91. That got pushed quicker by Imran, but they'll still concede a single that will mark the end of the over. It's 191 for 1. There is a loud shot for a catch behind. The keeper went up straight away.
Yeah, I wish we can have a closer look. It's difficult to say. It's really difficult to say because the line of the ball gets covered by the bat, so you're not really sure whether it is helped on its way or whether the ball missed the bat.
That's good. This is better. Try and keep milking it. Get Avishka on strike more and to get around it. But there you go. Let's take a look at this one. This is the previous delivery. Just an indication that the bat might have been hitting the ground, Roshan. Maybe that's the noise that came.
I think it definitely hit the ground, Kosala, no doubt. But what the Afghanistan fielders thought was it also touched the ball. I mean the bat. It's not to be. But 193 for 1 into the 30th over and you're down to the last 20 with 9 wickets standing.
Luis Fernando finally finds the middle of the bat and he will get a boundary. That is mostly welcome for him because he was trying that sweep quite often, and finally he gets it front of square. The reason for that, Roshan, is that he contacted it quite in front of the stump.
Yeah, that's true. And also, it was wide of the off stump, so he took it from outside the off stump. And well executed.
It's a good comeback delivery, but Shams hasn't been what the Afghanistan captain would have wanted. He's been expensive. He bowled well in the previous game. Last ball coming up. Again. Gets a sweep in place and he finds the gap and he finds the boundary. So this will bring a lot of confidence to Nuvinathan Fernando, and also it will take Sri Lanka to 201 for 1 at the end of the 30th. This is been his strength, isn't it? He's just worked those singles around, put the bad ball away, he moved to 93. And he's really growing in confidence. It's always nice to see batters getting runs.
जी जी बिल्कुल, इंडिया के साथ जो होगा वो भी संडे को मैं लाइव आऊँगा, तो आप लोग प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए।
It's always nice when your batters playing in this format also get runs. This time it's a single. Because your bench strength becomes very strong, Roshan, and when you have top batters getting runs, it's always a problem. Even the selectors have an issue because you've got batters getting runs.
It's good to have a positive headache. And rather than, it's good to have a scenario where you wonder whom to drop rather than whom to pick. So this is whom to drop because there are so many people pushing for places, and the selectors will struggle to identify a particular player because that's the ideal scenario.
The dot ball will end over number 31, Sri Lanka 204 for 1.
Well, you hardly play first class or the next level of cricket on matting. I'm just wondering whether this is the ground that SLC is developing outside the international venue. And if they're doing that, they will also have a matting. And I think there'll be a few strips as well. But it's a good idea to have two grounds where, you use the international venue only for international and the first class level games, while all the other levels can play at that ground. But cricket doesn't stop. Good running. And the surfaces and the international venue also gets protected.
I know for a fact that in Gaul they do have that problem a little because the Gaul Esplanade is used for Test cricket in Sri Lanka, and most of the matches. Oh, that one turn! That one turn! That surprised Fernando.
Was he appealing? I thought it was outside the leg stump. At least that's what I thought. If it's pitching outside the leg stump, you can never be LBW. Let's see, I might be wrong. Clearly. I think a good foot outside the leg stump and then off the bat.
Work it around. So coming back to that, so the Gaul Esplanade has this problem because the club matches are played in that grounds, a lot of top school matches are played, so they do have that problem when it comes to preparing surfaces for international.
See, that's where I think a concept like this would be very handy. So, as time goes on, I think a second option as a ground should be looked at. Because, as you said, Gaul Cricket Club, I know United Southern, two clubs to name, and then so many top schools, they all look to play at the Gaul International Stadium, which used to be the Esplanade then, not anymore.
He's getting turned, but his length is a concern here. He's not really been able to rip anything past the right-hand batters or get them on the front foot. There's no slip in place for him.
I think Avishka is playing him better. So Avishka is sort of shortening the length. He's looking to get on the back foot, but Mohanidou hasn't, I don't think. He has actually read him well. You could see that even there he was a bit tentative. 209 for 1. In it, but still, when they're out there playing, they play it seriously.
Now, Ibrahim comes back into the attack. 100 for Avishka Fernando. Back-to-back hundreds against Afghanistan A. And he is really getting into his act. This is the Avishka Fernando that Sri Lanka and everybody will want to see, Roshan.
Yeah, and also it's good to see him, a player with such potential, player that has promised so much and delivered. He's back again in the runs and in the reckoning. I sincerely hope that these performances will be made note of when decisions are made.
Oh, this time he finds the outside edge. There's no slip, that will run away to the boundary. As soon as Avishka Fernando reaches his 100, the bowler finds his outside edge, but there was no slip or a deep third place to cover that. But that was a good delivery.
Well, I can tell you that his 100 was almost flawless. And immediately after the 100, the first false shot has been forced by Afghan bowlers. Cleverly bowled, brilliant length, playing from the crease, enough shape to find the outside edge.
And also the fact that sometimes you intend, is the moment you achieve 100, your concentration part just intends to drop for a second.
And there are lots of things that go through players' minds, particularly batters' minds. It's a funny place. And it's a funny old game, as they call it. So it throws up different types of pressures and challenges.
Oh, that was given a big thump, but there will be protection down there. Just pick up a single.
$216 for one, short and wide that time. So just another peek at that game happening behind the Rangiri W Stadium. And we will look at it after this delivery. I believe it's a ladies' game, Kosala, and I'm just wondering whether it's an under-19 match that's happening. Right, that's what we're talking about. So that's a close-up as to what is happening there. It's a ladies' game. I think I was right when I said there was no umpire. Well bowled. 217 for one.
कैसे कर लेते हैं जनाब?
Maximum volume.
जी जी बिल्कुल, इंडिया वर्सेस श्रीलंका में भी हो सकता है फाइनल। ज़रूर लाइव आऊँगा, संडे को है।
लेकर जिंदगी के सिक्कों की खनक आ गई है नए किस्सों की गुल्लक।
इंडियन टेलीविजन पर पहली बार भारत के महान कोरियोग्राफर्स के नाम एक महाजश्न। इन्होंने बाथ ब्रेकिंग फिल्मों के गानों को कोरियोग्राफ किया। वो शक चुम्मा चुम्मा दे दे, चुम्मा चुम्मा दे दे चुम्मा। शनिवार रविवार रात 9:30 बजे सोनी लिव और सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन पर।
Well, there was a break for drinks, and just before we went in for the break, Avishka Fernando completed his second century of this tournament, and both against Afghanistan. And this is how he got about things. He started off well, getting run square on the wicket. He was very strong on the back foot in pulling and cutting. He was not afraid to go aerial during the power play. And anything pitched up was driven very well.
Avishka was fantastic. Outstanding stuff. Brilliant batting. Wasn't afraid to go over the top. Took on the spinners, took on the fast bowlers. Very severe. And a wonderful 100, I'll tell you, the second in the series. And he has really given the selectors something to think about with the way he's batted. 217 to 1. We're down to the last 17 overs. And at 6 runs an over, Sri Lanka can get 102 runs, which means 319. Sri Lanka should be aiming for much more. But what I'm very interested to see is how Nuwadidu moves from here. He's taken a lot of time, 53 balls for his 32, but he now needs to start making the use of those deliveries count.
Well, Afghanistan is concerned also, Oshan, Khalid will hold the key. 217 to 1 Sri Lanka. They've got 16 overs after this one. That's better. Using his feet against the leg spinner. Indications of a slightly more confident movement of the Fernando against Khalil Gurbaz. So run up ball, 90 runs means they get to 308. They look at 350, I'm sure. This one just cut off, but they will come back for two. Avishka Fernando continuing in the manner that he started. Now, we were talking about this match happening. It's actually it's not a match that's happening. It's a practice session between the under 19 women's and the under 17 provincial boys. So they're practicing together. Just showing the indications of if we can find out some talent from those boys and girls.
They have plenty of talent. I mean, yesterday when we were walking, we had a walk yesterday. We'll talk about it because this is the end of the over. There's one ball to go, but I can tell you we watched a softball game where everybody's interest just outside our hotel. It's the end of the over. We'll have more of it. 221 for 1.
Maximum volume.
And now we have the check the ball, so they will use only one ball from this over onwards. Well, he was trying to go inside out, but Imran followed him. He saw Fernando looking for room, but Imran followed him. And again, we were trying to play that reverse sweep. But coming back to that talk about talent in these type of areas.
Well, I thought we saw quite a bit of talent yesterday in that softball game just outside our hotel. only a single. So wherever you go in this country, you will see softball cricket being played, whether it's at a proper ground or whether it is in an area or whether it is that field. You will see plenty. So yesterday was no exception. And yes, it was very good. We stopped, in fact, it was late. We stopped for about an hour and watched.
Yeah, we were watching the game and there was a bowler who bowled very well.
There was also another guy. Oh, what are you doing? No need to play straight. You worked hard. There was also another guy who wasn't having the most perfect action, but they were both all right. And some big hits, striking those massive trees.
Yeah. Another single will end over number 35. It's 2-5 for 1. Cricket, there were things that whether you're out, if the ball hits the tree, you call it gus catch.
No, you can't hit it to the next garden. If you hit it to a glass or mirror or a window with a glass pane, you're out. So there were lots of restrictions when we played softball cricket. So you were forced not to play certain shots and also to play, within a certain area. So Ian Chappell, famous Australian captain, well bowled, went past the outside edge. So Ian Chappell would say that Greg Chappell and himself would play, cricket in the backyard. And it became so serious that Ian Chappell used to be Australia and Greg Chappell used to be England, and Greg Chappell hated being England, but that was the context. And it reaches such a stage that it can get physical. So Ian Chappell was a few years older than Greg. This time he'll find the fielder. And when Trevor Chappell came with Greg Chappell, so Greg Chappell was more the dominant guy. Ian had moved on. So if you don't get the better of your younger brother, then you play cricket. That's when you resort to being physical. But those are the days. Did we all have that?
Yes, for sure. For sure.
You ever played one-bum cricket or French cricket?
Many a times.
Anybody who at school, I tell you. Oh, this time might be taken. Yes, just inside the boundary. Avishkar looking for that short arm, looking to clear the mid-wicket. And he is out caught in the deep. Afghanistan will breathe better. Massive sigh of relief.
Yeah, he was looking to clear mid-wicket. He would have felt that he was playing with the wind. There you go. He picked that one up, but didn't get the distance, only the elevation. But I thought that was a good running catch. It was a good running catch. He had to cover a fair amount of ground. He had to keep the presence of mind of the boundary. But Avishkar Fernando goes for a well-made 110. Sri Lanka 226 for 2. 90 in this series. A match-winning innings, I could say, or the match that ended in a tie. Sadira was instrumental in getting Sri Lankans to that target.
Well, Kosa, I think this is another player that I thought will really, set, I wouldn't say set the world on fire, but create a massive impression. Remember when he started, and you know about Sadira is that he makes batting look so easy. Now let's take a look at this. You're talking about the catch. Yeah, it wasn't a great stroke, it was a nothing shot, but yeah, you're right. Very good catch, and because he had to be mindful about the boundary too, running around. Well taken eventually.
This has been a good over. This is a good over from Ibrahim, making a good comeback. One more remaining. 2-6 for 2. It's interesting to see how this pair now structures the Sri Lankan innings, what they look at. Are they going to look at it from 5 overs to 5 overs? Or they're going to when are they going to bring that launching pad into play? These are little things that will go through the mind. Sadira's in form, so I don't think he'll take much time to settle in. He knows these surfaces very well. Last ball coming up of over number 36. There you go. The time that he has to play the shot is amazing. That will mark the end of the 36. Sri Lanka 2-6 for 2.
36 overs done. 2-6 on the board for the loss of 2 wickets. Afghanistan bowlers picking up a wicket at a very crucial time when Sri Lankan batters were just trying to finish things off by putting the foot on the accelerator. The big fish, Avishka Fernando. Noridu has been out there for some time, 62 deliveries, Rajiva, and Sadil is just walking in. Well, how do you think these two batters will finish things off with 14 overs left? Kind of the batters who love to milk the sinkers rather than going for the big shots.
Well, I reckon around now, it's a time for the batters to shift gears. Well, after this over, just 13 overs remaining, so they need to identify. Not out, 93 in the previous game against India A. Another batter who is among the runs. That is very important for Sri Lanka A. That middle order, yes, now, Noridu has come out of jail. Now he's trying to the innings, organize it nicely. Lovely shot, one. And into that gap. Was trying and eyeing that reverse sweep a lot, but this time he connects it.
He gets it right. And as we did mention, one of these batters, and that should be definitely known in the Fernando, he has spent most of the time out in the middle. Execution was perfect. Look at that, the outfield will do the rest. And with the wicket of Avishka Fernando going down, I believe this man on screen will need to take charge and accelerate during this latter part of the Sri Lankan innings. Full toss, a juicy full toss. He would have been disappointed. That should have probably been put away for a 4, I believe, through extra cover.
Yes, Sadira is a batter once again, I would say, once he comes into the form. And like Roshan mentioned earlier, he looks really easy batting out there. A lovely shot once again, trying to go aerial, but falls short of the deep mid-wicket field. A couple of runs. 9 runs coming off the 37th. 235 for 2.
This tournament in Sri Lanka, they might currently feel that they're in the driver's seat. Or missed out on an opportunity. Shot, trying for a pull shot, missing connection.
Ibrahim bowling into the surface there, not coming onto the back, going for that shot too early there. They wanted to Fernando, but I reckon that those are extras. But I like the fact that no need to right now, well, runs given in fact. Maybe they've got Mage. And now this is the opportunity given for Nuno Fernando, that top order, very much needed. The batters to come into form, going into a final. Lovely shot. Couple of steps to the offside, flicks it with firm. And Sadira gets his first boundary.
This is good. Sadira Samaravikrama straight away shifting gears after the wicket of Avishka Fernando. Mid wicket and mid on inside the circle. Easy pickings. Lovely piece of timing. Look at that. A bit of work for the cameraman.
That's a no-look shot. Shows he's in top form. Like I mentioned earlier, this is time where the batters will shift gears. Outside edge, once again into the gap. Fielder running after it, keeping for a single. No, they're running for the second run. This is very good awareness. Very good running from Sadira Samaravikrama. Bowler is not happy.
Yeah, he seems to be very disappointed. You need to be on your toes, especially when the batters are trying to take you on. Every run would matter. And especially in this game where the Afghanistanis are trying to chase down the total. In less than 30 overs, every run would matter. Good effort, but should have been a better one. 7 runs off the first 3 deliveries. Once again, dancing shoes on, soft hands. They'll come back for a second run. Great piece of commitment.
A diving effort. Nuno Fernando, yes, he's not having a very good run, but today coming into the form with runs. Tara Kid maybe. Afghanistan players had a chance there. Sadira Samaravikrama is part of the Colombo Caps for the 6th edition in the LPL starting next month. Tucked away nicely, pushing the first run hard. Yes, 2 more runs. Well, this over turning out to be very good for Sri Lanka. So far, 11 runs coming off it.
This is good. This is very good by the 2 Sri Lankan batters. They're showing that it's not all about the big shots. Look at the partnership. 20 or 14 deliveries in no time.
Yeah, they have shifted gears as soon as Sadira walked into the crease. I mean, this is what should be. I mean, when a batter walks in, need to coping well. Inside it once again, slow things up. 12 runs coming off the 38. 247 for 2. He's having a stretch, Faruddin, into the attack. With 12 overs remaining for Sri Lanka A. Well, I reckon with a lot of wickets in hand, Iran, they might target 340.
Well, 340 for the Sri Lankans. Imagine how the Afghanistan opening batters are going to walk out to the middle and take the Sri Lankan bowlers from word go, because they need to chase it down in minimal time. Faridun, he has been successful today, 6 overs, 36 runs, managing to grab an important wicket. He has been given the responsibility at the latter part of the Sri Lankan innings.
Great connection of the full face, but unlucky for Sadira, he couldn't maneuver that into that gap. Satira has been another player who has that experience at the international level. Now given the opportunity here, number 4 batter, the responsibility. Oh, flicks it straight to short big wicket. And Faruddin striking. The bowling change worked for Afghanistan A. And that's the 3rd wicket for Sri Lanka A.
With Faridin, he was given the ball in hand to grab this important wicket to break the partnership. Yes, it was early stage between these two batters, but more importantly, you shouldn't let these batters get into those final overs. He is delighted. He knew the trap was set. A very soft dismissal for Sadira Samaravikrama. He departs for 14 of 12 runs, a very short stay. Sri Lanka 247 for 3.
Spending a little time on the surface. But I reckon after these overs, now 11 overs remaining, he's capable also for going for those ramps, especially the sweep shot behind the stumps.
He's a very talented batter, Sahana Arachigi. We'll take a closer look at the wicket again. An important breakthrough. Now this has been a very good over. Faridun bringing in that breakthrough. I did mention successful bowler so far. The trap was set. The short mid-wicket fielder, he didn't need to move an inch. Straight into the basket. Isn't he delighted?
A good comeback over from Faruddin, I reckon. getting that breakthrough. Now, this is the moment that Afghanistan at that moment of restricting to a target, with approximately 69 balls remaining in the innings. Even if the Sri Lanka A batters managed to get one a ball, they might end up somewhere close to 320. So that is also a bigger score. Oh, lovely glance, but pushing for the second run. Very good running. He's fresh. Sahanara Chige into the crease. He's very good. I'll tell you, he's very good between the wickets. Sahanara Chige, very agile cricketer.
Yeah, two batters, two young players who can use their legs much more to run those ones and twos. Try and put up a partnership, give yourself a chance, then look for those big shots. Or straight down the ground. Or could be a fielding, but that will result in a second run. Disappointing. The bowler wouldn't be happy though. That completes over number 39. 250 up for Sri Lanka for the loss of 3 wickets.
He was struggling to work those singles, but getting a couple of boundaries and then structuring the innings nicely. See, it's just at the moment that you need to cross. For a batter to come into form, it's just that one inning. Where you can develop your game, because in your career you might have struggles like this, but exactly that one inning matters, and he's coming into form at the right time on the words of that final.
That will be very important for the Sri Lankan batters to walk into the final with good form. Yes, the two openers, they have been absolutely brilliant. Sahanara Chige, he has been on song as well. Sadir has been on song. So this one man, he will need to do it.
Plays it fine. Bowling into the pitch once again. The surfaces have been, yes, it's been very good, and it's getting better and better. But the bowling has been in the middle frame. It's been disappointed in all 6 games where bowlers have struggled to pick up wickets, and the batters have dominated. Even if you have that flowing start, the aggression of the start, pulls it nicely towards the gap. There's protection, just a single, and that middle order continue that top order's form and then going for a big score. But if the opponents can manage the 270 to restrict the batting side after winning the toss, electing to bowl, yes, that's chasable. But if the batting side, the first batting side gets past 300 runs, it's really going to struggle. It's not going to be easy to chase down. That's what has happened to Afghanistan here right now. A placement, lovely placement. Couple of runs, but I'll tell you, that's a very good stop. Saved couple of runs.
Well, the Afghanistanis, they need to try and pull things back. Plenty of runs on offer. The Sri Lankan batters, They're playing with ease at the moment. If you take a closer look at that stop by the fielder, 200% commitment. That is what is required at this stage. Oh, there you go. This is what I was exactly talking. Definitely say a couple more runs there, Rajiv.
A commitment, for sure. See, maybe it's a couple or a single, but that one hand dive once again coming in. That's why I saw a short extra cover. There have been ups and downs of Afghanistan in the fielding department. But some of the fielders have committed so well. White bowling into the surface, the tennis ball bounce. And one over the shoulder as well.
They're trying different tactics, especially against Sahanarachigi. He has just walked out to the middle. So maybe try and play a little bit of mind games with him. Try to do a little bit of tricks, go hard into the surface, but that was not even in the frame. That was 1.5, the height of Sahanarachigi.
Misses out. 6 runs coming off the 40th. 257 for 3.
In hand and the final 10 overs, you can definitely call it the happy hour for the Sri Lankan batters, because they will have the liberty to throw the kitchen sink, because they've got off to a good start. They have the runs on board, 2 very capable batters and few batters to follow as well. So this is going to be a very interesting passage of play, especially for the Afghanistan bowlers as well, because they need to be on money. The moment they miss, you're going to travel the distance.
Bowling to the field matters a lot in this time frame, these last 10 overs. A lovely shot once again. There's a fielder, grabs it, and a very good catch from Faisal. And Shaf is striking the very first ball of the 41st over, and Nuri Fernando will have to walk back.
Well, it seems it's the happy hour for the Afghan bowlers. Bowling to the field, you did mention it correctly, Rajiva. With 3 fielders out there in the leg side, he just made sure into the surface that he bowls it. Easy catch. Disappointing end for the batter. He just couldn't travel the distance. Look at the passion. Look at the energy. They know that this wicket is a big one. Nuri Fernando, he departs for 45. Sri Lanka, 257 for 4.
From NCC, the skipper. from his domestic club alongside him. Quick single. He's off the mark. He's off the mark. The very first ball. Singles, rotating the strike, building that confidence level.
Let's take a look at the previous wicket. Into the surface. He knows 3 men are waiting out there on the leg side. And look at the fielder. He's surely a few yards in front of the boundary line as well. No power. Trying to time it. But you need that extra pace in this wicket to go the distance. Knowing the Fernando really disappointing.
Yeah, definitely around. No power in that shot. Just trying to lift it over the infield on Timea. But I would say if he would have gone through with it, swinging his arms to gain more power, maybe he would have got over the line. But that stroke came with the wind.
Aggression coming out. There you go. And Vikramasinghe on the other end. He will be taking a closer look at this drama as well. Against the wind, though, the previous one. Now, this is going to be very interesting for